Hey, it's Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com. Hey, how are you doing? I am great. We are in the studio talking, having a good time. We were talking a bunch before we went on air, but we're going to bring a lot of that stuff up to you guys. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Microsoft and the FTC. We're going to be talking about a little bit of Diablo 4. We're going to be talking about the Dark Tower series and a whole lot more right here on the Geek Public Radio.
You're listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys, talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and generally be old in front of your eyes. Not cool. Now, here's Topher and Crazy Chris, being all old.
That is us.
Being all
old. We are, in fact, old. A couple old heads talking about geeky things, new stuff, and pop culture news. And you are our geeky family. We are so happy that you have decided to join us. Topher, how the hell are you, man? Yeah, that's about right. You guys may have noticed that the title of the show is Do You Feel Attacked? And the reason for that is pretty simple. A lot of things in the news kind of make us feel like we're specifically being targeted for our fandom, and it's really irritating. But we're going to talk about all that and more. Before we do, though, guys, this sucks, man, because we're at this really weird crossroads. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about that, right? So we're looking at YouTube, we're looking at our numbers and things like that, and for whatever reason, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal with our Twitch, and our Twitch has absolutely exploded, and we are so thankful for that. And it's all possible thanks to you guys and the way you share and telling your friends and things like that, man. That's the greatest way that channels like ours can grow. So we thank you. But for whatever reason, YouTube has decided to just nuke our videos. We had almost 4,000 in the last one, which isn't like a tremendous amount. It's actually still down from what we normally get. But because of that, I don't know what they did. I don't know how it happened. I'm not 100% sure.
As you adjust your thing.
I did. I was trying to adjust it so it's more centered on everybody. Dang it, stop it. I'm bad at talking and moving things. Stop. But whatever. YouTube nuked our video, and it's about the fifth or sixth time this has happened. It's extremely frustrating. And with YouTube, there's not really a lot of recourse. Like, I can't go to YouTube.
Well, we're not.
Yeah, we're not partnered. We're not.
Don't have
we're not monetized. They don't care.
Specialist person or whatever.
Right. Like so there's nothing for us to do unless we want to spend oodles of money, and we're a small channel. We can't do that. So we're more than likely going to stop live streaming on YouTube soon. That doesn't mean the videos are going to go away. It doesn't mean that we're going to stop altogether, like starting next week or anything like that. Obviously, now we're still streaming on YouTube.
No, tonight's going to be the last time.
Okay, well, I guess tonight's going to be the last time. She and I had talked before the show. That's something we decided that we were going to do. So we're going to start exclusively partnering with Twitch. We have the offer. We're going to start partnering with them. So that's what we're going to be doing. The videos will still be available on YouTube after we air them on Twitch. I know there's rules involved with that, but once they're done, then we can load them, especially clips and things like that. We can load the show onto YouTube. So you guys will still be able to see us there. So if you are a subscriber, don't unsubscribe. We have to keep those numbers up, man. So we really do appreciate if you guys would just keep sharing, keep subscribing, keep liking the show. All the things that you guys have been doing, don't change a thing. Let us do that. Okay?
Well, no,
but go to Twitch.
Like with the last show, when we got off the air, we had 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah.
And within 2 days, it was down.
As is tradition.
It was down to 90, or it was down to like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And
as is tradition, that's always something that happens with our videos. It'll have a huge peak, and then they just cut them all, and then it comes back.
It went back up, slowly back up to 4,000 or 5,000, and then we're down to
under 100.
Yeah.
And there's no explanation. And when we emailed them and tweet them and ask them, hey, what's going on? They're like, oh, they're not organic views. Okay, well then why did the numbers go up the way they did? Like,
right.
Why is that happening then? Like, it's either a view or it's not a view. Stop counting them as views and then taking them away from me, because now it just looks suspicious as fuck.
Right.
I'm sorry. It just does.
It's, and it's not like we're not having people talk with us and chat to us,
right?
And this, that, and
we're thankful for that. We are.
No, and so we know people are watching the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people who are actually
engaged in the chat room. They are liking, they're commenting on our videos, they're messaging us on YouTube. Like, these things are happening. So we know we're getting the engagement. But it's just been an ongoing problem with us. And I don't mean this to be a bitch fest to open the show, guys. I'm really sorry. I just want to make sure that you guys are clearly, we clearly explain. We try to be as transparent as we can on this show and the things that we do. So we're not going to be streaming on YouTube live. You'll still be able to watch us on YouTube, but it'll be probably clips, maybe a little bit of the show here and there.
And it'll be later.
And it'll be later. It'll most likely be, later on in the evening, things like that. But you will still be able to watch us live on Twitch. So if you have a Twitch platform, or if you have a Twitch account, make sure you go check us out on Twitch, like, subscribe, just basically the same things that you do there. And then the Twitch community has been so amazing with the support that they have given us. And even when we had a problem, we were able to access the Twitch support like almost immediately and get our issue resolved. So, I mean, it took no time for them to reach back out to us, even as small as we were at the time, and be able to fix the problem. So it's with that in mind, the user support, the user base, and the audience itself, Twitch is just a better platform for Geek Public Radio. So moving forward in the future, all of our live videos will be on Twitch. Just our live, just to reiterate that, okay? But again, since this is our last show on YouTube, we're gonna go out with quite a bang. We're gonna talk about some stupid stuff. We're gonna get into some weird stuff for you. We value each and every single one of you guys. You guys are amazing. We're thankful for you. Everything that you do for the show. Thank you guys so much. We very much appreciate you. This is not the end of Geek Public Radio by any stretch of the imagination. And because of that, I want you to like, share, subscribe, help us defeat the evil Twitch algorithms. I don't know if I can say that now, but seriously, guys, help us grow on Twitch. Help us support the channel. Check out our merch page and things like that. But before you guys go smashing all the buttons and hitting all the things and doing all the stuff, make sure that you value your security, your privacy as much as we do here at Geek Public Radio, okay? And to that end, I suggest very highly that you go to expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio and start protecting yourself. You wouldn't walk into a bank and hand just anybody your money. Why would you do that with your data? And every single time you access the internet, that's exactly what you're doing if you are not using a VPN. You are allowing your work, you're allowing your family, you're allowing your neighbor, you're allowing the hacker down the road that might just be wanting to play around with your account. You're allowing them unlimited access to your data unless you have a VPN, man. So that is why I strongly encourage you to get ExpressVPN. They have awesome things. Like you can change your country code of origin, man. So like we love media and we like to watch all kinds of movies, not just movies that are restricted to the US. We want to watch stuff in freaking Australia and in Norway, in Finland. We can do that with ExpressVPN just by changing the country code. Click of a button, bang, you're secured. Speed is amazing. We notice no slowdown, even as much technology as we have floating in this office, no slowdown whatsoever. So it is awesome. Don't worry about that whatsoever. And in order for you to get protected, you got to make sure you go to expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio. And if you subscribe for 12 months, you actually get 3 free months if you use our promo code. That's expressvpn.com/geekpublicradio. Let them know you're serious about it as we are and get your 3 free months. Thank you guys. All right. Boom.
I think that was the first time I nailed that transition.
It really was. Like you did a super good job. Like I was able to kind of like launch in, like get a good segue. And then you were like, boom, there it is. There's the video. But yeah, thank you guys so much for all that. Let's jump right into this and let's get off of this YouTube nonsense. Let's stop talking about the negative and let's start talking about more negative. We first want to bring up this crazy story involving Microsoft, because surprise, surprise, Microsoft is doing the dumb. Maybe they're doing the dumb, right? So there's a rumor floating around out there that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be an Xbox exclusive. Now, this is after Philip Spencer and others at Bethesda and at Microsoft have said, or excuse me, Philip Spencer is not from Microsoft. Matt Booty, whatever, Booty Crunch. What is his name? Matt Booty? Is it Matt Booty? I think it's Matt Booty. M. Booty, not to be confused with M. Bison, although he is a final boss specifically at Microsoft. Mr. Booty has repeatedly stated that he does not believe that, that Bethesda games or ZeniMax games are going to be Microsoft exclusive. Why would they cut their player base? Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's exactly what several allegations have been made by the Federal Trade Commission in the United States. They're already in hot water in the European Union for their nonsense over there and basically violating antitrust laws and saying that you guys are monopolizing games.
Right. But when you say the nonsense and whatnot on that end of things, they are just doing what their competitors have been doing and gotten away with. The only reason that they're getting flagged is because it's Microsoft. Sony has 5 times the amount of exclusive games that Microsoft has.
And those sales are about 1/5 of what Bethesda sales are.
Well, no, like they just who did they just picked up Bungie. There is another one that Sony is looking at picking up.
I mean, okay. So first of all, Bungie doesn't even make the Halo games anymore. So that's
no, but they do Dynasty. They're the Destiny games. And
again, I mean, those have solid player bases. And your point is totally reasonable. I get what you're saying with the exclusivity. I get it, but that's like saying I have artwork that only I'm allowed to sell, and I buy artwork from other independent artists, and I primarily am the one that sells all of their art, right? And then freaking Thomas Kincaid with his giant enterprise of artistry starts purchasing slightly larger artists and slightly larger studios and selling them exclusively, whereas before I'm an art dealer and I'm allowed to peddle their wares, but now I can't sell. Now I can't sell Thomas Kincaid paintings. And so my customer base has got cut in half.
There are EA or Epic Games exclusives. There are Steam exclusives.
Oh,
there
sure.
is Sony exclusives. There is no way that you can argue that is monopolizing when you have all of these other places that you can go get different games that are exclusive to those platforms.
I would argue that Horizon Zero Dawn, and this is factually proven, Horizon Zero Dawn did not sell as well as Elder Scrolls V as Skyrim. Hold on.
Say,
all right, I'll do the Fallout 76. I'll use Fallout 76 as an example. Fallout 76 just on Microsoft sold more copies than the PlayStation exclusive of Horizon Zero Dawn. It did better numbers wise, and that's a terrible game. It's a terrible game, and it did better money. So by them cutting their customer base in half, they're still making roughly 2.5 times what they would make by making it an exclusive. Not to mention the customers who will literally leave and stop spending money on PlayStation, and they will start using it's a ploy, and we know that's what it is. We know that's what it is.
Right,
but
that's what I'm saying.
I've never heard anybody say I'm going to stop playing Xbox to go play exclusively God of War because just for God of War. That's not a thing that happens.
Yeah, no, if I wanted to play Ragnarok, I have to play it on the PlayStation.
Right, which is fine. But at the same time,
that is a massive title right now.
There are gamers who literally are PlayStation gamers, and they buy Call of Duty, and that is almost exclusively the game that they play.
Right, but there are other games talking about making Call of Duty exclusive. They said Bethesda games.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is the same principle can apply to Activision as applies to Bethesda. But there's nobody who's gone off and said, I'm going to do it. They would not do that. Right, but there are lots of gamers who would go, "Oh, well, I guess I got to switch to like Starfield. Starfield's not a Fallout game. Right. I'm totally fine with that particular Bethesda title being Microsoft exclusive. I'm fine with that. That's cool.
Well,
I'm okay with it.
The difference I see is if I don't have a PlayStation, I can't play PlayStation games. If I have an Xbox, or if I don't have an Xbox,
this, by the way, most gamers do have both. So in defense of this, most gamers already have both systems anyway.
If I didn't have an Xbox, I still would be able to play a lot of the Xbox games because they're on PC.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a lot more stuff that you access to PC games and this, that, and the other, that making it, an exclusive Xbox or whatever gives a lot more players, because you're looking at the consoles are still being sold and whatever, the numbers are going up, but so are the numbers of PC gaming content.
Right, so you're making my point for me.
Like,
they're only excluding PlayStation. So there's 3 tiers of market, right? Nintendo's its own thing, and they're going to make money no matter what. It doesn't really like Nintendo's always going to make money.
Exclusives, so you're not going to play Smash Bros on fucking PlayStation.
Which is probably, I would say, Smash Brothers, Pokemon, Zelda, and Mario, and to a lesser degree, like things like Metroid, are probably the only reason Nintendo is still in business.
And those are massive games
that have been around since the 80s. So
right.
Those are, but that's the thing. And then Smash Bros in like 97 or 98, I think, was the first one that got released for the 64, which still somehow stands the test of time. It's still a fun game,
and we still have tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like but that's what I'm saying is like games like that are the lifeblood of that system. Exclusively taking games off the market that have been available on almost every system with the exception of Call of Duty, right? Because it was never really available on
that's
Nintendo.
The question
is that what they're going to do?
Taking a new game that's brand new, that's coming out,
Starfield,
considered taking it off this game's always been on here. No, it hasn't. It's a brand new game.
I get what you're saying. I understand the point, and honestly,
that's like saying,
from a business perspective, from a free market perspective, what Microsoft is doing, I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. Not from a moral perspective. From a gamer's perspective, go fuck yourself, Microsoft.
See, I have the exact opposite thing. I've told PlayStation they can kiss my ass several times.
No, I get that.
And the fact that I don't have to, I can play games on my PC and be on Discord and do all of that stuff.
And don't misunderstand. I've got my PC with my games on it right here. Like I will still have access to these games, but I'm not going to spend $600 on a new console so I can play the new Elder Scrolls game. If that's and that's speculative, by the way. We're speculating. Yeah. I want everybody to be aware of this. This is not confirmed. This is just an allegation that has been made by the US Federal Trade Commission. So this is an allegation. This is not confirmed by Microsoft.
Screams of Sony lobbying.
Oh God, yes. I can't disagree with that.
It sounds like, oh, well, they're doing this, and
let's spend a bunch of money to lobby a complaint against them,
and then turn around and like the European stuff, when the person tweeted out, who's with all of that stuff, tweeted out, they're not going to take, we're going to make sure that they don't take Call of Duty away from us PlayStation people. Like, he flat out come out and said that he was a Sony guy.
Yeah.
And he was going to do whatever it takes to stop them from being able to do that.
And this is fair too. And in that same vein, by him saying that, and I get that,
a government elected official
is a PlayStation fan, right?
Yeah, and because of corrupt reasons.
I'm not disagreeing with, like I said, from a moral perspective, I don't see what they're doing is wrong. From a gamer's perspective, I'm like, screw you, buddy. Like, I hate this because now I'm gonna have to break down and get an Xbox. I'm gonna have to.
No,
because
you have the box right there.
I cannot play first-person shooters on this. We've had this discussion. I can't do it. I hate it. I might try. I might try.
Because it's just a screen, and you have the controller.
It's with the controller. I have noticed it is a little bit better. But it's just mostly that the screen size is screwing me up. So if I get a bigger rig, but see, this is what we're getting into. I don't want to do this. I don't want to buy a rig. It will suck me in, and I will never recover. I will spend so much money.
Grab an HDMI cable, plug it into your TV, and it'll be the same size as your.
Oh, you know what? I've never even tried to do that on this one. My old one didn't work, and so I've just stopped even trying. But yeah, I forgot about I can screen share. Shut up! Yeah, shut up, everybody! Shut up! Shut up, nerd!
But so argument invalid.
No, it's not invalid. My argument is still perfectly reasonable and valid. However, I will say, in the vein of the Activision lawsuit that they're trying to lobby and say, "Oh, they're going to make it," I have a harder time believing that will be the case because that game is so massive on both systems. Well, there's no effing way that Microsoft will look at that money.
They're not taking them to the federal court. They're taking them to the FTC special board.
And that's where it starts. It has to go through them first. And if that case is successful, then it will be lobbied up to a court.
Right, but they haven't filed for an injunction. They have not done anything. It literally is all for show. Like, there is no teeth. If they had teeth, it would be file for an injunction to stop the purchase. Go ahead and make
well, they're filing an antitrust complaint, and if the complaint has merit, they will stop it.
But they could. Well, no, they can't until they take it to court and file an injunction.
Like, you can't file. Complaint, okay, so but you and I both know this way this works. If you try to file an injunction without proof that that's what's happening, the injunction will get tossed out, and you will not be able to file it the second time.
Right, but with the FTC,
but that's discovery.
They file with the court to get discovery.
Correct, which is what they've done.
No,
the FTC filed. Yes, they did. They filed a motion of discovery.
Yeah, not in federal court. They filed it in their own private FTC.
Correct, and if they discover anything that violates antitrust, then they will file an injunction. They have to do that first.
No, they don't.
100%.
No, they have went directly to the courts before. They have.
When there's obvious evidence, yes, but this is not obvious evidence because this is the next point that I'm making to further your point. The next thing that I'm going to bring up is I don't believe that this is actually what's going to happen. I wanted to speculate because I love the engagement. I love it. It's healthy dialogue back and forth. I love it. But I have a hard time believing it simply because Philip Spencer, and I brought his name up earlier by accident when I really meant to say M. Booty, but the federal Philip Spencer with Activision offered a deal to Nintendo to have Call of Duty on the Switch or on Nintendo consoles for the next 10 years. It was a 10-year deal.
Right.
Nintendo has not responded. They have not said yes or no. They've just...
The funny thing is Spencer is a Microsoft employee who's in charge.
Okay.
Who's in
That's
charge
probably where I got those two mixed
of
up.
the
Then.
Activision Blizzard
purchase.
side.
Is that what it is? Okay.
No, he's the one who's, because you're still going to have what's his name be in a leadership role over the thing.
Who that in the chat? Who that?
Nice nightgown.
Oh. Oh my God. Go to bed, boy. You should be it's 7:00. Go to sleep. Nightgown. Jerk.
It kind of does look like a...
He's a tiny child. I don't know. Listen, it's a button-up. Okay? It's a button-up shirt. It's a very nice
and it has
floral
flaps,
print.
And it has the flaps and everything on the back. So you can
That's
go to
right.
the restroom.
He's got my butt flaps. Anyways.
But no, the what I was saying is that I understand
Philip Spencer. We were talking about Philip Spencer being an employee.
He was actually like the Microsoft guy in charge of the stuff. What's his name is still in charge of the thing in a leadership role. No,
or no, Booty's in charge of Bethesda, I think.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can't remember his name. We made fun of him because like, oh, this is so and so's. We have to put in for so and so's yacht now. Like, next new expansion.
Oh, moving on. Placeholder here.
But with like the FTC going to do whatever, I've read like as soon as you messaged me about that, like every article that that's popped up, they've all said the same thing. At the very bottom of it is that FTC to actually do anything always starts out, if they want to stop something, they always start out in the court. They never unless they're just trying to influence the actions, then they do it in their own ball field.
Which is fine. And we'll see how it all shakes out over the next year or so. Because it's still going to take them a hot minute to get everything settled. The Modern Warfare 2 is obviously on both consoles.
Right.
Obviously. And I have more of a feeling that this is how it will end up. Switch, Microsoft does not see Nintendo Switch as a direct competitor to them, even though they post profit every year, with the exception, I think, of one. And I think it was the Wii U. The year the Wii U launched, I think they posted their very first loss in 30 years. It was a terrible system. But
so, Mike, here's my question. As far as I know, Xbox doesn't have a VR rig.
I don't believe so. No.
So Sony should be violating antitrust laws because they only have the only console that has a full VR.
Oculus. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but isn't that who PlayStation is using? No, that's Meta is using Oculus.
Yeah, Meta bought Oculus.
Right, but there's no console.
If I'm not mistaken, I think
that's the argument with Microsoft.
I think the Oculus is compatible with games on Microsoft because there are PC games that are VR, and you have to have a VR rig.
Yeah, but you can't do it on the console.
Maybe not on the console.
That was their
not on the console. But again, Microsoft is not Microsoft software and Microsoft whatever hardware. They're two different things. So
right, but that's not what they're claiming.
I get it, but this is where we start getting into that really muddy water where we talk about how the software is compatible with VR. The hardware is not. That's not anybody's fault but Microsoft for not making their hardware compatible when even the Switch is compatible. If you go and look at all their patents for their system, they're all compatible. It actually has because they were going to use it was an AR, not VR, the AR where
alternate
it actually
reality, or,
the alternate or altered reality where they basically take your surroundings and then superimpose digital assets on your Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go uses AR. So it uses the camera on your phone and then it superimposes a digital image on it. So but that's the Switch actually has that. And they started making like these weird little boxes you can create. And so I'm honest because it's got a camera on it. It has a camera all built into it, and they don't use the camera for any of their games. So,
but no, that's what I'm saying is like the only one that has a full-fleshed
right, but that's not the fault that Microsoft has had the opportunity to do it and has chosen not to. That's not an exclusivity thing. PlayStation created their own VR. Microsoft could have done the same thing. They're not limiting that technology. That's hardware. That is not software. There's a difference. That's a hardware limitation chosen by Xbox. Software is created for that hardware. There's a difference. So that's like saying Apple should be in trouble because they have specific iOS software for their hardware.
Oh no, Apple should be totally in trouble because there's only two.
You and I agree there.
There's only two app stores in that cover everything.
Right.
And if those two get together and say no, we don't want to do this,
then an app isn't carried.
No, that is totally antitrust.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Why don't you focus on that? Because that's a bigger problem than Microsoft having video games.
Hey, you and I are right there. You and I are right there on that one.
Being able to lock out companies from the
what is my son babbling about? He's on about something. What's he on about?
He changed his name to Chris's Nightgown.
Yeah, he's I definitely not mine. Not at all. There's no way. Smart ass. Love you, buddy. Anyways, so yeah. Exclusivity aside, even if they were to make those games exclusive, I can't fault them from a business perspective. As a gamer, I would be upset about it. But I think this is what it'll be. And this is the same thing that was it Battlefield when DICE was it DICE that was doing Battlefield? I'm pretty sure. There was a specific game that would come out for like Xbox for a month or like 2 months or whatever, and then it would go to PlayStation. Like it was only available.
I thought Battlefield was the other way. Like it only came out for PlayStation.
It might have been.
Then it came out for.
It might have been, but I know Microsoft has had exclusive that had been released later for the PlayStation. I know that that's worked both ways, and I actually feel like if there's any exclusivity other than new games like Starfield, right, or if Activision comes up with a new Call of Duty style game, not Black Ops, not Modern Warfare. And not Ghosts, but not what's the other one that they have?
Well, I mean,
I think that's it, but not one of those two.
They have their Fortnite competitor,
which is
Overwatch.
Overwatch, yeah.
I mean, like I said, Fortnite you can only get on the Epic Game Store.
Yeah,
and that's
it's still available on every console though. I can play it on the Switch. It's available on every console because it's a graphically inferior and absolutely ridiculous game. I will die on that hill.
I liked PUBG when
PUBG was fun and honest
because it was more.
Honest
it
to
wasn't
God,
cartoonish.
I will confess that since this is our last YouTube show, I will confess Fortnite's fun. It's a fun game to play, especially when you get a group together. It's so stupid, but it's fun.
What's funny is like when I play, I don't build and do all of that stuff. I just run and shoot people.
They have like no build. They have like no build modes now, or you can't build. Like all it is a.
Or I'll catch somebody going up and building up a really tall to do something, and I'll destroy the bottom of it.
Oh yeah, that's totally a thing. Like yeah, but that's part of the fun of it. And honestly, like I said, it's a begrudgingly fun game.
But I mean that has come into different things. Like now with Rust, you have people who literally get into firefights and immediately start throwing up walls in the middle, like to block the.
Well, with Rust, I can't even be mad at that. Like, I'm level 1. Crap! Throw a wall up. Run away.
But yeah, so
I think that's kind of funny, actually. Like, because it kind of. I mean, it doesn't take long to tear that wall down.
I literally said that outside, like as I'm shooting and doing whatever, and somebody's like throwing stuff up and doing whatever. I'm like on the voice mic going, "What is this? Fortnite?"
It's true. And so, I mean, you and I we're gonna totally disagree on the exclusivity of it. Like, I think it's not. I won't use the word unfair because I don't think that it is unfair.
I don't think that.
I just hate the fact that I'm gonna have to shell out extra money. I think
that is unfair for somebody to shell out billions and billions of dollars and be told that, no, you can't.
That's what I said. From a moral perspective, I don't think I don't think what they're doing is wrong.
I mean, if you want to,
it's your company. Do what you want with it.
It's, as many people like bitch and complain about Call of Duty, like, oh no, this sucks and it's predatory. Half the stuff that's popular is, if you go through like
EA,
I'm saying like EU.
Oh yeah,
and you go through the Canadian stuff, they're getting ready to strip all of that stuff out of the multiplayer because it's illegal.
What?
Illegal gambling.
Oh yeah,
loot boxes.
Loot boxes are illegal gambling. Yeah.
Stuff. And now Canada's started to pick up the thing. I wish the US would pick up the thing.
Well, they can't now because they just passed the law that internet gambling is totally fine. So that's not going to happen in the US anytime soon.
Right, but there's a difference between internet gambling and aiming something at children.
Oh yeah, that gets
still illegal.
A crap load of money.
It's still illegal. For
speaking of children buying things online, boy.
Doomslayer 4728. I love your beard.
Thank you. My beard loves you too. Thank you very much.
But no, like it's just one of those things that I can't, like, I don't know. I'm not an Xbox player. I'm a PC player. And
yeah, So the dog you have in this fight is less. I'm sorry. You're a gamer. At the end of the day, you're a gamer. You are. And you have the Xbox. So this does not dramatically affect you as much. That does not.
Xbox and a PlayStation.
By the way, not to knock. This is not saying that your argument holds less weight because it does not affect you as much. I am not saying that because that is a stupid, irrational argument, and I will never use that.
Well, like I said, I have an Xbox and a PlayStation, but I play the PC.
But I have a suspicion that if you were a Sony exclusive person, that this would affect you, and you'd be like, "This is kind of nonsense."
I started out as a Sony exclusive person.
See, and you broke down because Xbox had some good games.
Because I wanted to play Halo.
Because they got good games.
So,
and like I said, I'll eventually pull the stupid trigger and buy a god dang Xbox, and I'm gonna wait until they're like not $500 and unreasonable.
Anyways, nice nightgown.
Oh, for crying out loud! I try to wear a nice collared shirt for everybody that you can't see because
it looks like a onesie.
It's not a onesie. Okay. It's a nice collared shirt. All right. I'm a professional. I have a professional job where I have to dress, and this is the only way I can express myself. You guys are not going to make fun of my expression. I don't care. Anyways. And you know what? I love my nightgown. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Anyways, so if all of this information is like super overwhelming to you guys and you're guys like, oh, the FTC is and all this stuff, that's perfectly reasonable, totally understandable. I get it. It makes a lot of sense, right? I didn't know what the FTC was for a long time, right? I had to look all this stuff up and figure it out, especially when I started paying more attention to news and how things work and business. And you got me wrapped up in the partnership of this company. And I'm like, I don't know how things work. I got to figure it out. But because of that, it's really easy for me now to actually look stuff up. And I can actually go to a specific website, very specifically Humble Bundle, and I can actually find information about the subjects that I'm interested in. And on top of that, I can purchase games and books and movies at tremendously discounted rates. And I get access to stuff that I didn't even know existed before because they're just like, hey, since you're interested in all this stuff, we're going to throw on these couple of games too. It's awesome. It's an amazing website. You guys should absolutely check it out. But to be quite honest with you, I don't tell the story quite as well as one of our most beloved mascots here at GPR. Cartoon Topher, why don't you tell the folks what they can do at Humble Bundle? Take it away.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Humble Bundle sells games, ebook software, and other digital content. Its mission is to support charity while providing awesome content to customers at great prices. They launched in 2010 with a single 2-week Humble Indie Bundle and have grown into a store full of games and bundles, a gaming membership service, a game publisher, and more. Join them and pay what you want for curated bundles of games, media, and software. All proceeds support charity and the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Visit a link on the screen and in the description of the video to support the channel and help the cause.
He's so adorable. Can't be mad at him. Anyways, so we're going to switch gears here. We're going to talk about something that's tragic to both of us, not just one of us. Henry Cavill is no longer going to be playing Superman. After he said he would play Superman, and now he's not. Bullcrap, and I hate it.
That's been going. That's not news. They just finally confirmed what.
No, he literally came out on his Instagram in October and said that he was going to be playing Superman.
Well, no, he came out with a Superman shirt, and that literally he didn't say anything. It was just a shirt that had the S on it.
There was an entire post on that Instagram, dude. Yeah, seriously, back in October, he made a post basically announcing that he was going to be returning as Superman. Like they told him to do that. DC confirmed he would be returning to. That's why he was in Black Adam, because they were like, yes, you're going to be part of the next wave. Yeah, everything's great. That's why he returned to play.
Right, but DC can't get out of their own way.
No, they really effing can't, and it's on my last nerve.
I've just given up because there's nothing. Everything's going to have to be taken as an individual.
What is my son on about? What is he? Thanks, kid. I appreciate you. Hey, you know what? While you're sitting there talking all that crap, you could be sharing it to your friends.
Right?
Yeah. But I digress.
But no, like, so I don't take anything that DC does.
Well, no, because here in January, they're going to come out and go, haha, just kidding, December Fools, or something stupid. And then Cavill will be right back to playing. But it makes it worse for me because I felt like that's why
Cavill already has his next thing lined up, and that's a Warhammer 40K series.
It's okay. So I've seen so many rumors, and I have like
he announced it. Like it was on my.
No, I saw the thing, but I have not been able to find like I don't know who the director is. I don't know any of this stuff.
Right, I think he's producing it.
Oh, is it him?
Yeah, I think he's producing it.
Oh God, what a nerd!
Well, yeah, he is.
I love it. Okay, that makes me a little happier. I don't know how interesting it'll be. Although I will say that some of the funniest videos I've ever watched on YouTube, or anywhere for that matter. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. See, thank you for your support. Oh, well, if you're on Twitch more, you would at least get Twitch friends. I'm sorry. Do you have a lot of friends? I don't either, if it makes you feel any better. Like, this is like my only friend. That's why we do the show together, which says a lot. I haven't talked shit in so long. It makes me feel good. I like to do this. It's fun. But
no, so like he's already got his new project and all of that. So like we're
okay. So
like him coming back is like him coming back to The Witcher, him coming back to any of the projects that he's done.
That's the one that actually the not playing Super, like it's been like 2-3 years really, like, because we can't really count the Zack Snyder cut as him returning, because it was just basically this footage. They did reshoot some stuff, so I mean technically I guess it was, but not really. So he really hasn't been Superman in 3 years other than Black Adam, right, where he had the mid-credit scene where he was, doing his little thing. So
well, even with that, like Shazam, and it literally wasn't him.
Yeah, it was just a superimposed image of his feet, wasn't it?
Well, it was
like him, the chest coming down, right? And I'm pretty sure that was just recycled footage anyway.
Like boom, walks into a frame.
Right. But that's less disappointing to me. It sucks because it's like now it's just confirmation that he's not gonna be playing Superman. So it sucks because I thought his portrayal of Superman was better than Brandon Routh's 100%, and he had the look. He's a very expressive actor. Like, he's really good at what he does. Mm-hmm. So I was like, he plays a good Superman. Legitimately, even Dawn of Justice was tolerable because of that. So that does suck, and I don't know how they're going to do it. But apparently, James Gunn and then the other guy that's working on it that's working in DC for the next Superman iteration, apparently, they have said that the next Superman is going to be not an origin story, but it'll be when he was younger. So like pre-General Zod, so like Smallville, after Smallville type era.
So it'll be Smallville,
but not Smallville.
Well, Smallville went all the way up to
him donning the cape and the cowl. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It'll probably be like after that,
which brought that up to Zod. Like in the Smallville timeline, he had
a Zod thing.
They took it all the way up to where the first movie, right before the first movie starts.
Right, but he had already dealt with like Clark Kent in Smallville had dealt with General Zod.
Right.
That had already been done. But that's kind of what I'm saying is like it's going to be, I'm assuming, Cape and Cowl, but they said it's not going to be an origin story. And my response to that is, how is it not? If it takes place before the events of Justice League and before the events of Superman, before Man of Steel, that would make it the origin of Man of Steel. like it's quite literally what that means. So I'm not sure how they're going to do it, or if they're just going to hit the big red reset button in the sky and just erase everything that's been canon for the DCEU, which with the whole Ezra Miller thing, I don't blame them a little bit. I mean,
well, they have come out that saying that they are going to do what Marvel originally started out doing and then got away from. And that was like everything across all platforms are going to be canon and it's all going to be incorporated together and this, that, and the other.
right.
But like,
I don't know. Like you
they've
said,
been talking about that, and they get it going, and then it falls on its ass. They get it going, and it falls on its
and that's
ass.
the worst part about it is it's not even like the main movies failed. They didn't. They were not commercial flops by any stretch of the imagination. Like, were they received well by critics? No. But that's because Marvel fanboys are literally some of the worst human beings that walk the earth. They're almost as bad as Star Wars fanboys. Almost. And I have a tattoo of Han Solo on my thigh, so don't question my freaking Star Wars fandom.
I don't know about like Marvel fanboys or whatever.
They are revolting.
They have not.
That's the name of an episode. You should check it out. It's hilarious.
They haven't given us anything to be excited about.
What, Marvel or DC?
DC.
I was excited for Black Adam. I think it was fun. I was excited. The Zack Snyder version of Dawn of Justice was
the Snyder
was
cut
great.
Yeah, I loved it.
And now, and here's the thing: they've got James Gunn out the helm, so I'm like, cool. I trust his.
I don't like Gunn. Like, there's hardly anything that he's done that
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That wasn't a
you don't like? Okay, well that's fair. I like the Guardians. Honestly, out of all of the Marvel films, those are the most tolerable. Yeah, yeah, for making a joke in bad taste, but for making a joke. Yeah,
right. So like.
Yeah. It wasn't a racial joke. It was literally like him basically being sarcastic about all of his pedophile friends. That's what the joke was.
Yeah. Then he got canceled.
Yeah. And they were like, oh my God, he said all this. And Disney was like, yeah, you're fired. And he was like, you guys owe me a bunch of money then. And they're like, wait, no, we're sorry. You're rehired. And then he was like, cool, I quit. I mean, it's basically, yeah, it's his, I don't like him as a person so much.
But I'm just saying, because I do believe they got him to come in after Zack Snyder and fix it.
Wait, was that Gunn that came in after that?
I think so.
Oh, if that was Gunn, no, screw him, fire him. He's out.
You know,
that I don't. No, it was terrible. Now you got to look it up, right?
I thought it was.
If only I had this handy dandy machine in front of me where I could look at stuff. There you go. So who finished Dawn of Justice? Hang on. Written by David Goyer. Oh, it still has Zack Snyder as the director. Well, hold on. Wikipedia is not for sale, apparently. Hold on. We're looking at stuff, guys. Hold on. Don't leave us.
Might help if I.
It just says Zach. So hold on. Did they just scrub? I don't.
Whedon
I don't know.
It.
Was it Whedon? Okay, there we go. I was like, I didn't think it was Gunn.
Putting it as an uncredited director.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think it was him. I was very confused. I was like, I didn't think it was James Gunn, but okay, cool. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Still another one of those people that like to take on properties and completely mess them over.
Yeah, pretty much. What's he babbling about down there? What do you say?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Um.
Anyways, so if it's James Gunn, like I said, what he did with Guardians of the Galaxy, I like all the Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought they were hilarious. I loved them. So if he's able to bring some of that seriousness and comedy along with it, because that's what DC has always been. It's always had the wisecracking jokes. It's always been a little bit more lighthearted, but still somehow magically darker than most Marvel.
I'm gonna say like Marvel is the sunshine and roses compared to DC's darker universe.
Some of their darker universe, but like a lot of their lighter ones, like you got Superman and Batman cracking jokes, and then of course the Flash doing everything that he does. You got Wonder Woman being
in the animated stuff, but like if you're looking at comic books, like they have the darker comics.
Ever since New 52. Ever since New 52 has been super dark. Like almost every story.
Well, you're looking at the 80s with what's his name's run?
Flashpoint?
No,
which one are you talking about? Green Lantern?
No, I'm talking about the artist. You have Miller's stuff,
Frank Miller.
and you have
no, Frank Miller was Punisher. No, that was Frank Castle. I'm sorry. Frank Miller. Yeah, Frank Miller was DC.
The guy with right now with the beard. He's like, I see him in masterclass advertisements all the time about learning how to write stories.
I don't know. No idea.
Morrison? No. Yeah, but like you have like several of those in the 80s that were like totally dark. The Old Man Batman stuff that happened in the 80s.
Oh, Old Man Batman is amazing.
But
basically, just so everybody's aware, Alfred is like the most badass character in DC. Period.
So when you come down to looking at
Alfred shot a guy repeatedly that broke into Wayne Manor, and it was hysterical because he did it like with the most calm attitude of a gangster. Just repeat. It was amazing. I laughed so hard. Didn't kill him for anybody's like, don't kill people. No, you just lit him up like a Christmas tree, and it was. What's funny hilarious.
Is Batman has killed people.
Yeah, 100%. It's there's early iterations of Batman. He was using guns.
Yeah.
That was never a thing that was developed. I want to say late 60s, early 70s, and really it started to gain popularity with the TV show. That's really where it became a thing, was the TV show, because they didn't want to show the graphic nature of like the killing and stuff like that. So then it was just more popularized.
And then you have Tim Burton like having the Batmobile rip down a thing with huge Gatling guns off the front of it, just firing into your crowd.
Yeah. Just literally like,
and then died there.
Yeah, absolutely not. Was it the second one where he throws a guy into an electrical box and you're like, pretty sure that guy's dead.
Right?
Almost breaking necks. Like, just ridiculous. That's why I like Pattinson's Batman. Like, he doesn't outright kill, but you could tell he gave zero craps about murdering somebody.
Well, with Pattinson's Batman, you look at, it's supposed to be the younger.
This is the comic book guys episode, by the way. That's what we're doing right now. It's awesome.
It's like the younger version of of Batman.
Yeah,
where he doesn't have the self-control.
No, and he doesn't.
Like he was just like punching.
Which is like a lot of people's thing. Where they were like, he was so whiny. He was so. I'm like, yeah, he's like 20. He's like maybe 24 years old, and that was yes, he was very whiny. He's getting the crap kicked out of him every night. He doesn't know why he's fighting. Like, yes, there's a whole, like, you think a hero, he's just steely resolved all the time. No, they humanized Batman, and that's exactly why I thought it was good, because it showed the human side of Batman. He's prone to emotion as Bruce Wayne. And then Bruce Wayne, to resolve his emotional trauma, puts on a cape and cowl and beats the crap out of people. Isn't that weird how that's actually his entire freaking backstory?
Right?
He's too emotional. Literally how Batman was created. Anyways, sorry. Fanboys piss me off to no end with that stuff, man. Well, that's not how Batman is. 86 versions of Batman, dude. Shut up. One of them was emotional, I promise.
Well, no, with that,
anyway,
with that thing, like there is an entire to direct, because I get told that by a certain producer of ours that just enjoy the shows for what they are, yada yada yada. They're just a new one, but you have an entire industry, and I can't remember if it's Snyder or if it's Gunn, who I think it's Gunn, that goes through and takes a property and makes a crap load of changes to that property so they can copyright that version of their of that. So anybody who comes in and whatever, then that's theirs. They get paid for that.
Yeah. Well, which I mean,
which is what led to like several of the franchises that everybody loves. They love the franchises for what the franchises were, and to have a director come in and a production company come in and say, well, if we change it this much, then we have our own version that's ours,
right?
That's no longer whatever. So anytime they do this version of that character from now on to infinity, we get paid.
Yep. Which is why there can be no more extended universe Star Wars movies, because they completely altered the life and trajectory of the Star Wars characters.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that even mimics that formula is now going to be under IP of Disney. Like, they're screwed. So you have to literally, even if you want to use the Star Wars logo at this point, your Disney's getting paid. They're taking 95% of your paycheck.
Right.
But what's cool, speaking of adaptations and things like that, I'm generally of the consensus that superhero movies are basically they're about to be done. Like, they are literally,
well, they've been saying it for the last 5 years.
But you've noticed they've been trailing. Like, they're not doing the numbers that they used to do. That's why
they're not putting out the movies that they used to put out.
Yeah, that's my point. It's like they're running out of steam, and I'm sorry. You can try to make me interested in She-Hulk all you want to, but it's not great. It's not a super fun show for me.
Well, I watched it and I was like, okay, but then it literally didn't have an end.
Yeah.
Like, she went and like complained to the manager.
Last episode, she Karen'd. It was great.
Yeah, she's like couldn't complain to the manager, and then turned around and everything she went back and everything was magically done.
Yeah, but just yeah.
What's funny is if you look at certain guys who write female characters, they're like badass and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And then like when a woman writes a female character, she's twerking in her office.
I mean, this is what women want, right? Maybe. I don't know. Like, I get it. Creating female superheroes, and this is part of a broader point, but I'm not going to get into it too much. But part of the broader point is shoving women into male stereotype roles is weird to me. That is just a uniquely weird thing to me. I don't know why people do it. And I understand, like, I'm not a big fan of gender assigned roles for the most part anyway. But, like, I don't know. Like, watching, I'm trying to think of, like, somebody who's really tiny in theater or like in cinema. You know what? Here we go. Watching Bridget the Midget pick up a 400-pound man and suplex him is tremendously less believable to me. Like, my suspension of disbelief, it extends quite far. Like, I can believe, or not believe, but I can watch a movie about space lasers and octopuses in space eating people, and I think it's funny and it's great, right? But I don't have a suspension of disbelief there, so I kind of unmade my point. But what I'm trying to say is my suspension of disbelief is pretty broad, and I can be entertained by a thing. But watching certain things, I'm like, that just, you just kind of threw me out of it. Doesn't make as much sense now. Like, it just doesn't. So I don't know. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I'm just old, because I mean, we do in our defense at the very beginning of the show, we are two old guys. Okay,
right,
all right. But speaking of TV adaptations of a specific IP, we have the Dark Tower series, written by Stephen King, that looks to be getting a TV series. I don't know if it's Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon.
Well,
not sure which one it is.
Given it's the guy who did
House on the Hill.
Yeah.
Was it House on Haunted? Whatever the series was. I think it was House on the Hill.
Hill House.
Hill House. That's it. Yeah, the Hill House.
It's probably Netflix.
That's my assumption. And honestly, I don't feel like King would probably license his IP to somebody who was going to be like Apple TV. That's such a niche market. Like, there's some good shows on Apple TV, to be fair. But
the thing is the Dark Tower books in that series, they're all up there.
Good, because I want to borrow them.
Have some.
I got the first one, and I
messed up visuals.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious as to how they're going to translate that over. I mean, in the It stuff, they just completely
cut it out.
Right,
the whole thing with the kids and the one girl and the they left it out, justifiably so.
Right, but in Dark Tower, there was one of the thing where the gunman's walking by, the gunslinger's walking by or whatever, and on the front porch is an old man and his daughter. and he's
without
doing things with stuff.
Yeah. And it's like the imagery is pretty severe. Now,
and
the overall story, I think, can easily be told, right? And they did it with Castle Rock.
Right.
But I love that series.
Yeah, and I love Castle Rock. The cool thing that they did with Castle Rock was that they didn't those weren't adaptations. They were just placing new stories
in Derry, Maine.
In
Castle Rock.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be Derry, Maine, right?
Well, no, the Castle Rock is another sound that he created.
I thought, Rock, that's right. No. Yeah, that's right.
You have Derry. You have.
That's right.
Oh God. Because Derry is.
But they essentially, so if I'm recalling it, like, I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I need to finish the last season that they have, which I think is 3, might be 2. I'm pretty sure it's 3. Need to finish that one. But I liked the way, if I remember it correctly, I'm pretty sure they basically turned Castle Rock into equivalently the Dark Tower. They were introducing elements of all of his horror stories
that happened in that area. That's what the.
Dark is that Tower. All? Okay, so Castle Rock was specifically stories that happened in Castle Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on okay.
Because like in Castle Rock, you had the guy who set up the shop for Needful Things. You had them talk about Derry.
They brought up Shawshank too, didn't they?
Well, yeah, because Shawshank actually was outside of Castle Rock.
Right. So I knew that because I'm pretty sure they brought up wasn't the kid, wasn't he in Shawshank? Didn't he go to Shawshank prison?
Yeah, they found him at the bottom of it after
the
guy
put
a rope around his neck, got in the car, and drove off a cliff.
Yeah. Like I said, Castle Rock is great. So there is a way.
I mean, he did that in the first 5 seconds of the movie, so it's not really.
No, that's not a spoiler.
I mean, how literally tied a rope to a tree, got into a car, put it around his neck, and drove off a cliff.
Yeah, I mean it's quick,
separated.
Yeah, see ya. Yeah, that's right. It was So the
and then when they do any of the office shots. Like the bullet hole from the movie is still in the
Which and that's what I'm saying. It's like there is definitely a way for them to incorporate Dark Tower, 100%.
Well, Dark Tower is a
specific IP, but what I'm saying
it's a specific storyline, which they kind of batted around in the Dark Tower movie,
which was not great. I expected more, and I think that was my fault. I hyped it up way more than it probably deserved.
I mean, there are a ton of books in that series.
6.
So trying to narrow that down into distill that down
a 2-hour movie, yeah. And that's why I think a season or seasonal approach or a series approach I think is a lot better idea, because that's going to allow you to A, explore the story as it was meant to be explored, B, take some creative liberties with specific things, because you have a lot of material to draw from, which means if certain things are a little bit too vulgar, we'll just say vulgar, then you can brush past them a la It style. You can just kind of breeze right past it. So I think it'll end up working out good. I'm excited for it. So you know what else I'm excited for?
Vas.
New t-shirt designs over at t-shirtmix.com. If you guys want to see me not wearing a nightgown on the show, then the best thing that you can do is help support us in a real and monetary way. I understand that we're going to get some things from Twitch and stuff like that, and that always helps us out too. But if you guys want to just directly support us and get some cool kick-ass t-shirts at the same time, you got to head over to t-shirtmix.com, man. We have our own unique designs that we've created and shared them just for you guys. Put them on tumblers, t-shirts, magnets, stickers, etc., etc. If you guys want to check that out, you can get it. I'm not doing this justice. Cartoon Topher, you're the mascot. You're the voice, man. Take it away for T-Shirt Mix.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Need your fix for fun shirts and things? The perfect place to get geeky fun t-shirts and other merchandise, including tumblers, baseball caps, and so much more, is tshirtmix.com. Hundreds of designs you can choose from, as well as being the home of Geek Public Radio merch store. Come get our faces on your threads, or just grab one of the several funny designs that we have available. Just go to tshirtmix.com and check out all the fun. More designs are added daily. That's tshirtmix.com for all your novelty tees. Have fun, look around, and grab some awesome t-shirts.
Got to get your shirts from tshirtmix.com. This is why I'm not allowed to have things. But that's a great way. That's a great place for you guys to go. High quality threads, man. We love them to death. I'm gonna start rocking some of the shirts that I got from T-Shirt Mix. I'm gonna start rocking them because I think they're hilarious, and I'm just gonna start wearing our own T-shirts. Like, well, kind of like what Luke does on the Tim Cash. Like, where's his own stuff? Like, I think we should do that.
Oh yeah. I think there might be a companion thing to T-Shirt Mix coming.
Yeah, I saw you. We've been working on some new ads, guys. We're working on some new stuff that well, I should say we. I should say he. Topher has been kicking around some ideas because that's what he does. He just gets. He's like, oh, I got an idea. No, you do not. That's not AD. No, that's not even ADD. That's not even what that is. That is. You have like an obsessive compulsive disorder, but it's like obsessive chaos disorder where you're just like, hey, I'm going to do this idea. Cool. You know what else another idea would be? Boom, and then boom, and then boom, and then it's like obsessive creative complex. Like that's really what you are, dude. You just have so many ideas.
Idea guy,
yeah, you're just like idea. What if we had a chair that was a rocket ship that also painted your balls? Yeah. But no, most of your ideas are like incredible and like things I've seen the designs. They look great, so I'm really excited to be able to share that with everybody when they do come out. It's gonna be cool. But speaking of things that are coming out. Besides myself and Topher, we're going to be talking about Diablo 4. We're talking about Diablo 4. Everybody is available. Finally, release date has been given to us by Blizzard. Activision's still a fire garbage company. Blizzard just along behind them, but still, Diablo. It's awesome. You gotta play Diablo.
Yeah, my wife is already. As soon as the announcement came out, she
was
baby.
I
want this for Christmas.
Well, as soon as it came out, she was like the sweetest person in history. Just to be clear, everybody, it is not available by Christmas, but the pre-order is up now for Diablo 4. I'm excited.
The release date literally is my wife's birthday.
It is. I was going to give the release date. Can I still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody knows what my wife's birthday is.
Well, they will after I tell them. Because you just get on 6/6/2023, Diablo 4 will be available. I think it's funny. We talked about this. Diablo 4 will be available 6/6/23. I think it's funny because it's 6/6, and obviously they couldn't make it 6. Oh, Diablo, right? So what did they do? The next best thing, 23. 2 times 3 equals 6. So 666. Diablo 4 will be coming out and available for purchase and play. It is available for purchase right now for pre-order, things like that. So it's going to be kind of cool. We are not sponsored by Diablo 4. Also, we are not sponsored by Rip It, even though if they want to sponsor us, we would totally be okay with that. I would totally be okay with that. I think for Rip It. If that's all you want to do for our sponsor, I will pump you guys all day long as you pump me full of Rip It. Anyways, but Diablo 4 looks cool, looks clean. I like the design of it. I'm pretty sure it's in the Unreal base, so it's not anything groundbreaking or revolutionary as far as graphics, but it still looks pretty.
From what I've seen of it, and the main complaints from what I've seen as they tease like gameplay and this that and the other is that it looks like Diablo 3.5.
I can see that argument.
It's the same,
because it's the same engine.
The visual between Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 was huge.
Yep, and then from Diablo 2 to 3.
Diablo 3 was huge, and now it looks like we're just playing Diablo 3 with more missions. I
mean, and that's probably a pretty valid argument. They haven't there's more like a dynamic adaptive lighting and stuff like that. They've modified like some of the the animations and things. No, that's what I'm saying, but it looks like a cleaner experience. Like if you compare them side by, because there are comparison videos out there. If you compare the gameplay from 4 to 3, there are some pretty stark differences. It looks a lot cleaner. It does. And that's why I said it's a pretty valid argument. So for Diablo 3.5, right? It would be what Diablo 3 could have been had it been created on this software, right? So I'm perfectly acceptable calling it Diablo 3.5, but it is brand new missions, same Diablo style story. Obviously isometric gameplay. They're gonna have spells. They're gonna have different classes.
I saw the release for the Rogue.
Yeah,
and I sent that to my wife, and she was like, "Oh my god," because that's her
favorite class. Yeah, it does, and it looks really. I think it's gonna be fun. I've not played ever because I played Immortal on on my phone too, and I was like, this is still fun and it's still pretty fun.
Yeah, I play. You can actually play it on your computer too. And that's where I was playing.
Yeah, and it's not bad. I mean, it's not. It's definitely pay to win, but it's not bad. But yeah, so I like Diablo. So there's yet to be a Diablo game that I have played that I didn't like. So I imagine this one stays in the same vein, just like the Borderlands games. It's it was a huge departure with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It was a departure from the story of Borderlands, but it was still a stupid fun game to play. With the DLCs that have come out, it is a super fun game to play. I enjoy the freaking heck out of it. It's fun. I like it. and it's been doing so well that they're going to do Wonderlands too. So Borderlands now has a subset and the main game. So it's gonna be awesome.
And if you want to find any of that stuff out, if you go to geekpublicradio.com,
yes,
there is a link for our store that you can actually buy video games from us.
Dun, da, da!
It helps us take care of stuff and gets you access to all of the Borderlands stuff. So like all the way through, like all the directors,
Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. You can get Tiny Tina's. You can get just the DLC. Assault on Dragon Keep is literally available as a standalone playthrough right now. You don't even have to have the core game anymore.
But
that's how popular that was.
But now you can also get all the Destiny stuff and all of that other.
Yeah. So make sure you guys go to geekpublicradio.com. Don't forget, we do have a website. We do release articles. I have not been able to purchase Callisto Protocol yet. I just haven't had a chance to get out and get it. And I don't want to do it digital because I'm running out of storage. I need to get my terabyte hard drive back out. But I haven't bought it digitally yet, so I'm waiting. I'm just going to buy a hard copy of the game. So as soon as I get Callisto Protocol, guys, I will have a review up on the website for it. That will happen. Movies and games, stuff like that, series that are coming out. We're going to be doing a little bit more work. I have a set, solid, and consistent work schedule now. So that means I can actually devote time to do things instead of just being exhausted all the time and stressed out. Very excited about this new career path that I've chosen. So look forward to new and better stuff coming from us in the next year, guys. But do not forget, starting next week, we will be Twitch exclusive for our live shows. Period. Live shows will be only available on Twitch. So if you are used to seeing us on YouTube, get unused to it, because YouTube is literally the devil and we are tired of fighting with them. They have nuked our show too many times to count. We're finished. We're out. We're going to continue to post things on YouTube. We're not going to delete our account. If you guys are subscribers there, you'll still be able to see our content. You just will not be able to watch us live. That will only be available on Twitch. So make sure you guys get your Twitch accounts ready, and then we'll be able to share and do more affiliate shows and be able to talk to other people. It's going to be great. We're not quite as bound creatively on Twitch as we are with YouTube. Now, there are a little bit more stringent rules about things that we can say, which is fine. I don't care. We adhere to those anyway. So it's really not that big.
YouTube has the more stricter.
Yeah. There are still specific interpretations that Twitch has of certain things that we have said that YouTube does not. So in some ways, YouTube is more liberal with the way that they see certain phrases, whereas Twitch is like, no, you breathe in the general direction of a certain person, we're going to ban you. Like, they're a little, unless you do porn, and then it's okay. Right. Because they only ban you for a week.
And then you do it again.
Right. More views. So if you guys would like to see us live, man, make sure you go check us out on Twitch. It's twitch.com. Our links and everything like that are right up here. Twitch.tv/Geek Public Radio. You will still be able to find all of our videos right there at youtube.com/Geek Public Radio. And of course, you can check us out on Facebook as well. And if you are so inclined, make sure you follow all of our socials down here below. You can find GP Radio Chris, that is me. And then, of course, Free Geek Radio is Topher. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'm available on Instagram under, so just follow us on Twitter. It's fine. now that Twitter's a thing, we're gonna start using Twitter a lot more often. But you guys have been an awesome geeky part of our family tonight, man. We're super appreciative of you. Topher, I think that's gonna do it for us, man. You got anything else for the people?
Nothing.
You give them a smile? There we go. Beautiful smile from Topher for you guys. Thank you so much. Once again, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys talk about talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and try not to poop in their diapers while they're talking. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Twitter at Free Geek Radio, on Facebook and Instagram at Geek Public Radio, and the website geekpublicradio.com. We'll see you next time.